It's 1994, in between Capri Suns and rounds of Mortal Kombat 2 at a friend's house. His father walks in the front door with a small, ambiguous device he called a modem, 28.8K. Within an hour, my world is forever changed. I'm exposed to the information superhighway. And at 12 years old, I realize I can download boobs and video games for the first time. Sea Dogs, the future. I have only had one other moment like that in my life. It was 2012. Like any gamer girl, I was watching E3 like Christmas morning. Watching coverage of the event on that now famous superhighway, I come across a thumbnail of a guy I recognize but rarely see speak. John D. Carmack in an HMD prototype. The future.
Welcome to Sensory Overload. Another guy talking about virtual reality.
The start of our tale comes at a time of discovery and the haters saying it's fake, so we gotta go back. Sir Charles Wheatstone in 1832 invents the stereoscope and enables each eye to view an image separately, creating a three-dimensional effect. When asking why he invented it,
my waifu so thick and lovely it is be captured for humanity.
The stereoscope coming roughly 10 years after the first photograph, then any Digimon, Pokemon, Darwan fan knows they evolve. I had a Viewmaster growing up in the 80s and it had been around for 50 years at that point. Then to Google Cardboard and ultimately the HMDs of today.
Remember to use the 3 seashells.
The next person in our story, and in many ways the single most important, it is only a slight exaggeration to say that British mathematician Alan Turing invented the computer, the concept of artificial intelligence, electronic music, saved the Allies from the Nazis, all before dying a martyr for gay rights at the age of 41. Turing's revolutionary idea in 1936, the concept of the universal machine, laid the foundation for the modern computer. Turing brought the idea to practical realization in 1945 with his electronic design, all while saving the goddamn world while doing it. In his 1951 paper, Can Digital Computers Think?, Turing predicts aspects of machine learning algorithms, the importance of pseudo-number random generators, the uncanny valley, sex bots. Turing makes one firm prediction that by the end of the 20th century, computers would be able to answer questions in a manner indistinguishable from that of a human being. The Turing test.
Is this the test now?
Yes. You're in a desert walking along in the sand when all of a sudden you...
While pissing away at the computing machine laboratory in Manchester as early as 1948, Turing had rigged up a computer to a loudspeaker and was able to produce a series of hoots. With a specific set of instructions, he was able to find and recreate Middle C. Roughly 3 years later, Chris Strahe, a computer scientist and musician, found himself in the computing lab, and after some discussion, Alan let Chris program the machine for a full night, which he did, and came up with this.
Excuse me?
I like you. What do you think of me?
I don't rightly know, sir.
Make an assessment.
God Save the King, Baba Black Sheep and Glenn Miller's swing classic In the Mood. I hit things with sticks and can barely wipe my own ass. Thank you, Alan Turing.
Whoop-de-doo! What does it all mean, Basil?
The term virtual reality was coined in 1987 by Jared Lanier, author, philosopher, and engineer at VR's first wave. Which brings us to modern day. Long Beach, California, 2010. A 17-year-old cobbles together a prototype, the PR-1. Palmer, Freeman, Lucky, while on the shoulders of giants and the life support of the military-industrial complex, took head-mounted displays and thus virtual reality 20 years forward. The son of a salesman, Palmer, homeschooled by his mother, was in community college by the age of 14. As always, it's the dollars.
Always the fucking dollars.
From hundreds of thousands to hundreds, all while being a rad gamer. The Kickstarter campaign to follow would raise $2.4 million, roughly 1,000% of its original goal. Oculus VR would be acquired by Facebook in March 2014 for $3 billion. The innovation, wonder, and hype the kid had covered. Then, 4 horsemen rode into town.
Finest medicine in the state.
In a world of snake oil,
Game's over, mister.
Instagram, Theranos,
With transparency.
Now had none.
I don't know specifically.
politics, sometimes, however,
Don't any of you have the guts to play for blood?
I'm your huckleberry. That's just my game.
the rocket scientist coding god John D. Carmack. Peculiar since birth, John's first words being a complete sentence at 15 months, "Here's your loofah, daddy." Scoring perfect on all standardized tests at age 7, it was clear John was a true force of nature. And for our story, we have some of his credits: adaptive tile refresh, ray casting, binary space partitioning, surface caching, shadow volume, atmospheric fog and specular lighting, mega textures. So, Commander Keen, Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake, more Doom, Rage, all while making rockets. Then into virtual reality and head-mounted displays. As far as when the rocket scientist coding god met the Wonder Kid from Cali, early 2011, John came across Palmer on a maker forum and wanted to buy some parts off him. An anime crossover was born of colossal magnitude. With 2 of the Power Rangers recruited, Zordon went to find the Blue Ranger, but he had been MIA for decades, now a myth in the background, a ghost in the machine. But then, a twinkle from the stars, a visionary the likes which make Ayn Rand Andrew Ryan blush.
I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture.
Lord Gaben, king of the Andals and the first gamers, protector of open source and innovation, engineer of the great Fortress Classic, the unkempt, and breaker of cheaters. Gaben, under orders from Zordon, was here to get the Blue Ranger on the team. Had a hand in half the shit you use daily, Michael Abrash. Programming his first commercial game in 1982 with Space Strike for the IBM PC, Abrash then went on to write core code for the most popular computer user interface in the world. Then back to video games for a team-up with sentient AI robot John Carmack at id Software to make a little game called Quake, now fully 3D with 6 Degree of Freedom, internet persistent servers for multiplayer, mouse to look. First-person shooters as we know them, then helped The Rock launch the Xbox with Bill Gates as his manager. After a hit on the radar, Gabe had been trying to hire Abrash over fine meals quarterly for years. Then, in 2011, he did. With 4 of the mega powers assembled, the team was strong, but VR had been here before, all the promise in the world, and failed. Here's why in 15 seconds.
Slip into view. If one picks you up by the scruff of your neck, the sense of flying can be all too realistic.
I'm a little worried about that flying pterodactyl at this point. Oh, here comes the bird. Where's that bird? He's got you. He's got you, guy. Ah, he got me from behind. Oh, my God. I think I have to take this helmet off. I'm physically feeling the spacer. Oh, my God.
Human equilibrium, our sense of balance, is vital to everything we do. We evolved to have fine motor skills to hunt, craft our tools, and to be able to groom each other. Simply, VR in the 90s made you physically ill. So we need a hero, and only a humble knight will do. And that man is... Alan Yates, hired by Lord Gaben himself and given a task. Don't let VR fail again, please. Alan, you're our only hope. The Lighthouse tracking system solved that. And with that, all 5 of the Power Rangers headed to Snake Way to talk to King Kai to ask Shenron to bring VR back to life. And the incel Data, who turned hot or not with a fuckable button into Scrooge McDuck money. I got my hands on an HTC Vive at launch in 2016. It was my first VR experience. I skipped the dev kits. And yeah, Will Smith mouth agape would be the default VR thumbnail and some of my experience as well. Anyways, it worked. Just that fact, it worked. It was like Sea Dogs and those first internet boobs all those years ago, confirming the future before my eyes. A little lighter in the wallet for the room scale experience, but worth it. There are 3 pieces of software that give us the best glimpse of the future: VR Chat, Photogrammetry, and Half-Life Alyx. In VR Chat, you can be who you want to be.
You can be who you want to be. Who you want to be. Be who you want to be. I'm Batman. Be who you want to be.
You can be who you want to be. Be who you want to be. Be who you want to be. You can be who you want to be. And it'll be alright. You know, I tried to explain to him what it's like, but, you know, you gotta get in here. You gotta see what it actually is in order to understand it. And, what the future looks like. So the idea is to just keep roaming. You just keep going and you just keep checking everything out. What's going on? And you just see what everyone's up to. You never know what you're gonna find. But, you know, if it doesn't, end, it'll be alright. Go where you want to go, be who you want to be, see what you want to see. Check everything out. Anime girls, you know, welcome to VR. Tend to watch yourself in the mirror. What's going on, Leon? Looking good. Man, I tell you, that guy, he's in here way too much. You never really know what you're gonna find, but you just keep going through. And sometimes you find cool stuff, cool people. But you never know what you're gonna get. Never know what you're gonna get. And sometimes you wanna hang out in the house and, you know, listen to a little Studio Ghibli. That's the thing, is you be who you wanna be and you go where you wanna go. The beach. Although, I don't know if this is quite fitting attire. Maybe something a little more, you know, classy. You're pretty good. So enjoy it while you can, before copyright ends this and rebrands it all. With photogrammetry, you can now walk inside of pictures. Do it and get back to me.
Walk inside of pictures.
Hey, Kimari, Riku, Lulu, Waka, Auden, Yuna. What do you think, pal?
Alex is vital because of its mod capabilities. I recall playing Half-Life in 1999 in this mod called Counter-Strike, looking for DE_Dust matches. A Quake mod called Team Fortress. Whoa, I can build turrets. I played Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos, but more so this mod, Defense of the Ancients. Arma 2, it had a mod called DayZ. I love Mario and Miyamoto, Final Fantasy, and Bioshock. But many of our greatest games of the past 20 years have come from mods. Whether it's Gabe himself or Valve as a company, they understand this. The best game of the next 10 years is going to be an Alex mod.
Would you kindly?
The moon belongs to everyone. The best things in life are free.
Andrew Ryan.
The stars belong to everyone. They
Any splices here?
For you and me. The flowers in spring, the robins that sing, the sunbeams that shine, they're yours, they're mine, and love can come to everyone. The best things in life are free.
Honey, the moon belongs to everyone. You know,
the best
things in life
are free.
And the stars